The 3-piece wine rack dining table set from the folks at Cenove includes 2 sitting benches, is built with rustic metal framing, and your choice of distressed wood, oak, rustic brown, or white statario. This premium sturdy construction is perfect for a breakfast nook, dining table, or otherwise kitchen decor that you're looking for. A table dimension that is 54 by 23 by 29 inches. That includes glass holder, a wine rack, and space for storing items such as bowls, utensils, or other kitchenware. With a veneer top, the table is made out of E1 particle board. The metal framing is treated and the construction is easy to assemble. All in all, this weighs about 75 pounds. What's up my Pungios? Andy with Any Vlogs, excited to share with you guys this tutorial here. We're gonna be going over the 3-piece wine rack dining table or breakfast nook for you guys to level up your kitchen, have a nice place for your friends and family to be able to sit while built to not take up that much room. With that said, it comes with all the essential items to assemble. Let's jump right into it. Step 1 is unboxing and disassembly. Once you have boxed it, what you'll want to do is separate them all alphabetically in order. Ooh, that looks so good. That veneer is really, really nice. Looks like marble. Okay, so step 1 is the trickiest here. You're gonna need to make sure that you have order of operations. You also have to make sure that you understand which pieces that you're using. So here over on the right that does not connect to the wine rack is B, because B doesn't have the side holes punched into it, whereas E is your leg, your other leg, the left leg. This is what attaches to your wine rack. And so you gotta make sure that you connect E on the same side as F. F is the extending pole legs that go down. And so when you're assembling it, make sure you have E and F on one side, and then make sure that you have B on the other. This is D, excuse me. When you're connecting B and C, which are your cross rails, you need to make sure that you've got the right sides connected. B will have 2 holes that are really close to each other right here on the left side, and then 2 holes that are far apart. The far apart holes need to be on the side of D, whereas the short side needs to be on the side of E. So make sure that you're cognizant of that. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to assemble it, and the instructions don't necessarily say that. There's just a picture. So let's go ahead and screw it together and show you what that looks like. Okay, we're now moving on to F. F, you need to put the table on its side, because you're not gonna be able to connect these unless you're on your side, and you're gonna make sure that you have this little hole up and the other hole up as well. Step 2 is to assemble the crossbars G with S screws by connecting them to E and F. Next step is getting I and H and using these crossbars to connect it to your table. Pay careful attention that H goes up here and I goes on F. And then down here, down below is where H goes. when connecting eye, make sure the holes are parallel and they're not up, but they're facing towards the left hand side of your table, because that's where you're going to be connecting the crossbar later on. Lastly is the crossbar here on D, the eye crossbar. Make sure that you have the holes facing left and right and not necessarily up. Because again, you're going to have a crossbar that goes all the way across the table. Step 4 is assembling J, which is your cross support beam that goes across your table, which you can also act as a little footrest. You're going to be connecting it to each individual eye crossbar. It doesn't really matter which angle you put it on. Although I want to have the J facing away so you can't see it. Okay, next step is the goblet or the glassware holder. This is just going to be placing on, I believe this is on C, underneath the table. You're going to place it in like this with the hooks down. And then you're going to be using these really small U screws. Okay, next step is going to be a little tricky. We're going to be placing the storage board here, not the chair board, but the desktop board. Placing it down here. So you're going to want to have it upside down. And I think it's probably best to get the screws in, and then you're going to have to hold it up for some time while you're screwing it in. You want to make sure that you've got the design facing down, because again, we're upside down. Okay, step 7 here, we're going to be getting the table and placing it on top of the veneer particle board. You're going to notice that you've got 6 screws to place. You do actually have these board-in areas because where the wine rack is, there is a screw that needs to sit flush, and so you need to actually place it with that board-in area right where the intersection meets, because that's where the top of the screw head is going to fit into. Before we move on to the bench here, I wanted to show you here that we've got these little pads that go on the bottom that can screw and give you a center table. They also have these little squishy little dots that you can place on there as well if you wanted to protect it further, if it's on linoleum or on hardwood. Pretty straightforward. You just kind of push it down. Make sure you don't pinch yourself. And then you can screw on. Screws it on. Let's do it to the rest of these. Okay, once you've got them placed in there, you want to make sure that they're all screwed into the same length. There you go. And then lastly here, you place on the wine rack. With that said here, it does come with these little corner pieces. It's 3M sticky tape. Okay, now on to the benches here. We're gonna go on step 9 here, and we're gonna get the 2 O pieces, this left and the right legs, and we're gonna connect the crossbar P to it with the S screws. Step 10 is to connect the Q pieces, these crossbars, with O, and you want to make sure that you've got this dot going parallel instead of having it facing up. Step 11 is to connect R with Q using S. Step 12 here, we're going to be placing on the little pads for the bench. You need 4 on each. And then we're gonna go ahead and finish off by fixing the wood particle board to the table. All right, now we're complete. There it is. Looks really good. All right, there it is, the 3-piece wine rack, dinner table / breakfast nook here, all done. I really like the veneer on here. The particle board is really high quality. It actually feels like it is marble, so you've got that texturing here, which is really, really nice. The metal construction is really high quality, and it's very simple to lock tight together. It doesn't weigh that much after it's done, and after placing those little pads on there, you actually can move it around quite easily without it scratching. Lastly here, I will note that there is a fine powder that you will get residue on your fingers after using and constructing the metal pieces together. Rest assured, it's non-toxic. They assured me that it's a part of the manufacturing that will go away over time. You can just wipe down your pieces with a cloth and it'll be just good. With that said, my pugnios, you guys saw the close-ups here, B-roll at the beginning. Very, very high quality. Really, really recommend here. This is a sponsored video from the folks at Cenove. They did provide this table to me complimentary, so you know where that bias is. With that said, here down below in the links in the description will be the product pricing and availability, and we'll catch you on the next one.